dropping knowledge on Grambo grows. Talking about plants and how they go. Let's go. From seeds to the cure, we always smoke pure. Nothing but good vibes up in here. We blaze the ganja, keep it fire. Grambo grows, burning desire. Learn about cultivation, step by step. You can rock out the negativity. Cannabis vibes up in here. Grambo grows, lines up here. Grow, I bring you life.
Nothing but good vibes up in here. Grambo grows. Welcome to the late night smoke, everybody. The last chance of the week for you guys to get in, hang out live, do some smoking, token, and joking. We discovered last week or the week before that there is a difference between smoking and token. For the life of me, I can't remember what the argument was, but we had a lawyer. We consulted a lawyer, and they said there is a difference between smoking and token, and we're going with that. So, guys, if you guys support cannabis content, if you're looking for content about growing weed, fire weed, smoking weed, all the best strains in the world, you're in the right place. Welcome to Grambo Grows. It's a crazy time right now in the cannabis community. Everything's going haywire. YouTube shadow ban, and we thought we had a little bit of a leeway there for the last few months. Like since January, they kind of eased up. Everything was going looking like it was on the up. We're showing nugs, we're talking nugs, and then I don't know what happened. About 3 weeks ago, they flipped the switch. I don't know what's going on in the world, guys, but if you want to support cannabis content, I recommend that you subscribe right now. Hit that subscribe button. Let YouTube know that we're not going anywhere. This is the thing. They can keep hammering us and hammering us. We're just gonna, if YouTube thinks that that's gonna stop us growers, I mean, we had the DEA kicking in our doors, and we're still like, F you, baby. I'm not going anywhere. So definitely hit that subscribe button, smoke that like button while you guys are here. Everybody in chat, got almost 100 of you guys in chat right now. Shout out to everybody out there. I missed last week. It was a crazy week. I had shenanigans that I can't even get into. You guys know I'm all about the revealing too much. Maybe that's around the hour mark. Around the hour, I can talk more freely. And so since the last time I saw you guys, we had the DGC Cup. We've had a bunch of new stuff going on with Dude Grows, with Jug Dealers. Jug Club is still not launched. So if you guys are thinking about the Jug Club, it's once again, Stripe, the payment processor, is straight up banned us. So it's a weird time for cannabis and cannabis content right now. It's we're still in the growing pains, which is why I always recommend share this video, subscribe to not just me, but all your favorite content creators. One of the things that's tricky about YouTube is that it serves up to you just a video. You log in and then there's the video you want to watch, right? And you don't even notice that you're not really subscribed to anything. YouTube just knows what you want to watch and it serves it up until it gets the shadow ban, it gets the age gating. Once it gets that, it's not going to serve it to you anymore unless you're subscribed, because it's not really age gating. There's already a setting in YouTube where he says, is this for anybody below 18? You go, no. And it's a completely different thing. So what it really is subscriber gating. It's going to only send you out to the people that have already hit that button. So that way the YouTube knows it's not sending dirty cannabis content out to, we wouldn't want people getting exposed to growing plants now, would we? That would be horrible if word got out that, weed's just a plant and you can grow it. Dear God, that would be the worst case scenario. So definitely, if you guys were checking out the appeals, I'll tell you. What's so funny about the appeals is the time of day. Like if you appeal during the daytime, it's a no-go. Like, but if you appeal at night, it's about 50-50. We won an appeal with Dude Grows on Saturday. The Saturday show got taken down, and then we won the appeal and it got put back up there. Yeah, High Plains Bud knows. We wouldn't want people to know the truth. No, that's not good for business out there. But what is good for business is good genetics. It's been one of the things that if you follow cannabis content creators out there, it's always the what do they call it? The Lee Biggs law of the minimum. You guys have seen on Jug Dealers, if you watch over there, the barrel. If you got a barrel with a bunch of planks all around it, and then one plank is lower, no matter how much water you put into the barrel, it's going to leak out that one, plank that isn't up there. So you have to make sure you get everything up there. And it's always what's the top of the barrel? And it's always a debate. Is it environment? Is it genetics? Some people say it's genetics. Some people say it's environment. I tend to lead towards environment is the thing that is the top of the, because even if you get good genetics, if you have a bad environment, you're never going to live up to your genetics. But it's like a chicken and the egg thing. Side note, chicken and the egg, yeah, for sure. The egg comes first. Science has spoken about this. I don't know if people are still saying that, but the word is out. We've done biology on chickens, and the egg for sure starts like way before the chicken. The chicken then develops inside of the egg as it is an embryo, and it's not anywhere near a chicken. So in the chicken and the egg, it's all about the egg, people. Dropping fucking knowledge on Grambo Grows. What are you guys smoking on? Before we get started, I'm always curious. What are you guys smoking on? Are you smoking on something better than me? You better not be. It'd be a tough sell today. And I don't mean just people in the live chat. Leave a comment. Drop a comment in the actual video, because a lot of you guys are watching the next day. So this is the late night smoke. Sometimes it's the early morning smoke for a lot of you guys. It's Monday morning. Let me know what you're smoking on. I'm smoking on some of that Scotty Real live resin. I've got some of the Guava Gator times Emergency from Scotty's Grow. Scotty grew it with grow dots. Kyle processed it into live resin. Hey, Scott, there's the man right there. You mention the man's name and he appears. It's like Scotty's the candy man. And so yeah, I'm smoking some of that Scotty Real. But I was hanging out with this girl the other day, and we were smoking some of this dabbage. And I was telling her, it's like, it's so cool having watched the plant grow, and then like you help it get cut down, and then it gets processed by another friend of yours, and then all of a sudden you got a jar full of this amazing live resin that you got to watch it go there. Always on the chops. I've had to I took a break from society this weekend. Society was stressing me out. I turned off the phone, and then I turned it back on today, and I got like nothing but bad news. I was like, I hate the goddamn phone. And so if you guys didn't see the Dude Grows Cup kind of show breakdowns and everything, and Banner's doing a new Know Your Grower segment on Sunday. So if you guys didn't check that out this morning, Little Farmer was out on that. The cup this year, we had the flower cup, and then we had the hash bash. So it was the normal flower competition, and then on Sunday we had the hash bash, which is a concentrate. So it was live resin and live rosin, no proper. And I know the whole misnomer of hash, and like, oh, BHO is not hash, rosin is not. I don't know, man. It's just it is what it is. Strains are actually called cultivars. Clones are actually called propagates. I believe that's close enough. And then we call live resin hash. I don't know, man. It's just words just mean things. I heard a guy say one time, words are just handles that we put onto concepts to hand them to other people. I go, all right, I guess. So if we're calling it ash, whatever. But the hash bash was live resin and live rosin. And I must say, something unprecedented had happened, where tonight's guest, he finished second in the flower cup. I was talking to him before we got going. We were hanging out over in the just like the little Pantera played tonight, Scotty. Oh, that's some BS. What the hell? So Scotty's are you at Metallica right now? Are you watching Metallica and me? So Scotty's downtown with 75,000 people watching at the Broncos Stadium. It's an unbelievable sight. And you guys see the pictures of that. It's absolutely unreal over there. So yeah, Scotty doesn't know. You know who does know? I can't remember. Matt Damon. Shout out. And so yeah, this guy, our guest tonight, he finished second in the flower cup. That's pretty freaking sweet. That's amazing. I was talking to him before, and I go, hey, I know that guy. We were just talking a little bit ago. And he definitely had the look of a hardcore grower. And then the next day, Scotty's all distracting me, How famous do you want to be? Chanting Grambo before Metallica. That's how famous I want to be, Scotty. And so the next day comes the hash bash. There's 75 strains, 65, 75 strains for the flower cup. So finishing second, that's a pretty crazy accomplishment all in itself. Then 25 of the best hash makers on earth. It's ranging from Gabe from Jug Dealers. We had the Diamond Mine. You guys know my Lemon G, my beloved Diamond Mine. Diamond Mine was in there. Gabe was in there. Nicotine was in there. Some of the heaviest hitters in the hash making game, in the concentrated oils game. And he won. I couldn't believe it. When they announced the winner of it and they said Grow Fire Farms, I almost plotzed, to use the language of my people. And we got him tonight. Buddy, I'm electing you to Dude Grows Hall of Fame for that one. Welcome, Grow Fire Farms.
Heck yeah, that's an honor, Grambo. I appreciate you having me on. The whole event was pretty amazing, and I just couldn't be more pleased with the way everything turned out.
Yeah, man. It's and you're down there in Arizona, right? I mean, your hat says everything, right?
Yeah, I'm from Phoenix. I'm a native here, born and raised. It's like 118 degrees out there today, so yeah, I'm trying to stay inside.
Oh my God! No wonder you grow such good weed. You're inside with the plants, getting some of that air conditioning.
Got nothing better to do, man. I ain't going outside unless I absolutely have to.
That's so crazy. And so right off the bat, I guess we can just jump into a little bit of grow talk on that. Is how does a grower deal with 118-degree heat? Like, are you just running mini splits? I mean, you got to be running mini splits, right?
Oh yeah, I finished out my garage just over a year ago, and I put in an oversized mini split just to make sure that it could handle these high temps in the summer. So yeah, an oversized mini split in a well-insulated garage, and we're off to the races, man. You just got to have an oversized unit and then some good insulation.
Look, every man envies having an oversized unit. Don't even get me started, Grow Fire Farms. That's the dream out there. And you don't want to, you can't, that's the tricky thing with the ACs. You can't, me and Scotty always talk about that. His dad's a HVAC guy, and he just grew up in that world. And like, you'll get the short cycling. And if you go too big, it will just kind of like run, turn off, run, turn off, run out, and kind of burn out the compressor. But if you undersize it, then you're fighting not just the heat, but the humidity as well. And so, do you have any advice on like how big a grow room do you run? Like how many ton AC do you run?
It's like a 20 by 20 garage that I finished out, but I mean, it's basically my man cave, and I just have a few tents that I put in there. So I'm running like an 18,000 BTU mini split. So it's doing the trick for the 400 square feet. Keeps it, a nice, comfortable 70 degrees in here at all times, even when it's, 118 outside. So it's doing the trick.
That is a blessing. I can't even. You probably do actually hang out in the grow room quite a bit, eh?
I swear to God, I do. A lot of times, it's the coldest room in the house, so I got a couch in here. I'll end up going to sleep in here a lot of nights too, man.
Raising up that CO2, baby. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. So one of the things that I definitely, I'm always fascinated with is expressions of strains, cultivars, as they are more accurately termed these days, or any days, but we're getting the vernacular more correct these days. And you did something kind of unbelievable. Like I said, so once again, someone just asked you, didn't he win? You won the hash bash, and that was with GMO, correct?
That's right. Yeah, definitely been running that cup for a couple years. It always comes out amazing.
Amazing. And then with the in the flower cup, you finished second, and that was the super booth, correct?
Yes, that's also correct. That's another cut I've had around for a while. I definitely got her dialed in, and that batch came out amazing. I actually had a jar of super booth rosin. I was going back and forth which one I was going to bring to the cup with me. And I ended up settling on the GMO just because it was a little bit older and had more time to cure. The super booth was pretty fresh still. So I like the consistency of the GMO. I thought they were both, contenders. But I ended up settling on bringing the GMO with me for the rosin. And then for the flower, I had a few different ones to pick from too. I ended up settling on the super booth. And I'm glad with the choices that I ended up making there.
So you said that you had it dialed in. What goes into dialing in a strain? Is it just eyeballing it? Are you doing different environments depending on what it likes? Like what goes into like having a strain that essentially if you finish in the top 3, I call it winning. it's one of those things that like top 3, top 5 is all winners. So even though you won one and second is winning. So on these winning strains like that, how do you dial this in? So this super boof, it's a cut of blackberry, right? Do you know
Yeah, that's
the
right.
history about this? Yeah.
Yeah. It's there's the blackberry cut, and then there's the super boof cut that Mobile J found. And I guess he's real good friends with the breeder over there, and somehow the breeder doesn't have a problem with him taking his stuff and renaming it. So no problem over there. So everything's cool. But yeah, it's just another pheno of blackberry. Somehow the super boof cut got way more popular and well known than the blackberry cut did. But they're very similar cuts. I haven't actually grown the blackberry, but I've been having the super boof for a while. And as far as dialing them in, I mean, I basically have a system that I run, and I put the plants in there. And if they don't perform well or do well in my environment and my conditions, then I don't keep them around. So it's not that I tailor my system towards cultivars. I make sure that the cultivars fit my system. So whenever I bring in new cuts, I'll run them one time and I'll see how they perform. If they do well in my system, I'm going to run them back again and again and again. There's certain strains that I'll get my hands on when I put them in my tent. They just don't perform well in my system. It could be they don't like. I just recently started using under canopy lighting. And with the under canopy lighting, I'm finding that there's certain strains that don't like that super high intensity. I got strains that I've been running for a couple years that normally give me, big fat colas, that now with the under canopy and the more increased intensity of the lights, they're not swelling up like they used to. So, when you go making changes to your grow and adding more intense lighting, certain strains will react to that. So, I'm definitely playing around with the under canopy. I've seen a nice increase in yield. I'm getting like a whole extra pound of flower off the bottom of my 4x8. So, that's beautiful. I usually will still strip all that, just wash that into some hash rosin, and then keep all the stuff from, the top net up for flower.
That's awesome. Our boy Mailman Grows, he's always asking good questions. Any takes on the brand that you use in particular?
I was studying under canopy lights for like the last year, trying to decide on which brand to go with, because there's so many different ones coming out right now, and they're all basically brand new. None of them are really tried and tested for years, So I kind of was just throwing darts in the dark, trying to pick which one to get. I ended up picking up the Grower's Choice ones, partly because, my local shop was carrying them in stock, and I'm real cool with the owner over there. So I went ahead and picked them up over there. But there's quite a few other brands that I'm sure would do just as good. I just went with Grower's Choice.
It's one of those things that for sure, like always, it's like, yeah, any of them will work, but like, you goddamn winning cups over there. It's like, well, if they're all the same, I might as well just go with the one you're using. So normally I'm not all that curious about gear, but definitely that's the news. That's the new.
Yeah, I know that there's some other brands. Like I've heard some good things about the Favens and the Craft Farmers, and there's a few other brands out there that are putting out some quality products for under canopy lighting. But like I said, I just was able to pick up the Grower's Choice locally at my local shop, and they've been performing great for me.
All right. And is it all kind of under canopy? Do you get much like side lighting? Junkyard
Honestly,
wants to know.
I cube out my 4x8 with a scrog net. It's wall to wall. There's really no room for me to put lights on the side. So yeah, I just keep the lights above and below, and then it's wall to wall scrogged out inside that tent.
All right. So definitely, I don't want to get too far away from probably one of the more psychologically healthy things. I am a bull, right? I see a thing that I want, and then I will just keep going at. It's like, oh, how'd you get so good at guitar? Well, I threw fucking 8-9 hours a day, 7 days a week for 15 years at it. How do you get? I'll just bull my way through. So here in my head, I was just waiting for you to be like, oh yeah, dialing in. I'm tinkering with this. I'm tinkering with that. But you're actually a healthy human who, as smart people in my life say, they always say, Grambo, just walk through open doors. Instead of trying to bust through walls like the Kool-Aid man, just find an open door and walk through it. You get through the other side. And so use smartly, and you don't get fallen in love with strains, because if I had something that I loved, well, God damn it, I'll do anything for love, and I will do that. You know what I'm saying? But you're smart enough to see. You're not a guy that falls in love with strains, right? If something doesn't work in your world, you just let it go.
I mean, there's plenty of strains that I love that maybe wouldn't perform in my garden, so I wouldn't choose to grow it. I got plenty of other growers in my circle that maybe have different systems that might have that strain perform better. So, it's nice to just be able to meet up after we both harvest and swap jars. I don't have to grow all the strains because other people are growing them too. And it's kind of nice to just meet up with some local growers and swap jars.
That is probably the coolest thing, is having the different growers, the different selections. If anyone that watches this show, I've been obsessed with not just phenotypic expression, but expression in general. Like we can have, like, you pop some seeds, and then throughout those seeds, you're going to get different phenotypes, right? It's going to be this pheno. And so that makes sense. Like, but then the thing that's been blowing my mind is, like, we have our friends like JR Token, who's been spreading the same JR Token cut of the Cherry Paloma everywhere. And it looks so different. We could have like a Cherry Paloma cup at some point, where just like every single grower submit. Like I remember the best I've ever had was Sunny in Bectopia, a female grower friend of ours, and she grew it outside. And dear God, it was unlike, it was gassy and kind of funky, and I had never tasted Cherry Paloma like that. So it's been one of those things that having different growers in your network, that's probably one of the coolest things ever, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. We actually had an event here in Phoenix probably a year ago. It was a keeper cut that I found from my buddy Spaceman Seed Company's gear, a fritter fuel. It's a motor breath crossed with apple fritter. And I hunted a pack of those seeds, and I found an amazing keeper that I placed in the Euro Cup with out here. And then we actually, in conjunction with a local hydro shop here, we put a grow off on. And it was, I actually gave that cut to 50 different growers throughout the valley. All 50 of them grew that cut out. And then we had an event where everybody met up and showed their flower. Everybody smoked it and voted on it, and then we had a winner. So yeah, it's definitely amazing to see the same cut grown out by 50 different growers, so many different genetic expressions. Everyone has a different environment. Everyone has a different nutrient regimen. So I mean, it was quite amazing to see that same cut grown out by so many different growers.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like I was just spitballing ideas, and you're like, been there.
We already did that.
Bro.
Yeah, I already did that last year.
That's amazing. And so was it like a proper competition where someone won, or it was just kind of a showcase?
No, yeah, there was definitely first, second, and third place. They got trophies. There was not like any huge prize package, but you got to take home a nice trophy to show off to your buddies.
That's so sick. That's, for me, like, this is a thing, like, always go into the Dude Grows Cup every year. Obviously, I always think that, like, this is why I'm always like very much like supportive of people that finish lower in the list. Like, dude, you still won. You finished in the top 10, you still won, because it's so flavor, right? I always say, like, last year I was walking around. I don't like Jack. I don't like Jack Herrera. I don't like Island Sweet Skunk, Durban. I don't like those terps. This is not for me. And this guy has the most amazing looking bud I've ever seen in my life. And it's just beautiful and so crisply just tried down. I'm like, holy crap. I smoke it. I go, oh, that's Jack. I hate it. That's the best Jack I've ever smoked. And no vote for you. Goodbye. And so, like, rightfully, this is some of the best weed on earth. Yet for me, it just wasn't that thing. So it was I always thought, like, I think growing out the same strains, that's really the way you're going to find, like, the best growers. Right. And can you speak to, like, how different were the strain since you were the keeper of that cut? Were you shocked by the submissions?
Yeah, there was plenty of quality submissions from the growers that entered. I wouldn't say shocked. I was definitely amazed at, the variation across the board. It was definitely an amazing event. I'd love to put on something similar in the future with another one of my keepers, but that one was extra special because it was one that I found from seed. That was my buddy Spaceman's gear. I had already won an award here with it, so it had a nice little history behind it before we even gave that cut out. And now that cut has, I don't want to say taken over the city, but like I said, I gave that cut out to 50 growers. They gave it out to their friends. So everybody in Phoenix got some fritter fuel right now.
that's dope, right? Like, yeah. I love the idea of, like I always say on this show, I'll say, smoke that like button, because there's this YouTube coach that I listen to, and he was like, try to find, he calls it boop the like button. I don't know why he calls it that, but he says, try to find something in your niche that goes with the thing. And so I started smoke that like button, all because of this YouTuber. Now I see it everywhere, and I don't care if I get credit for it. I just like the fact that hey, I'm the one that did that. That's out in the world now. So I can only imagine the fact that Phoenix is smoking your pheno hunt like on the regular. That's pretty dope. The fritter fuel.
Yeah, there's actually a commercial facility down in Tucson that's running whole rooms of it and everything. So it's pretty cool, to see something that I found from seed being produced on a commercial scale.
My man, Sleeps with Sativa says, don't hide it, divide it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the other thing I really, really love about the DGC Cup, right? So with the Super Booth, this is one of those things that's like we'll call it played out, right? Like people are like, oh yeah, I know that like, that's been going around. It's one of those things. But the fact that it was a blind taste test, like had you told people that it was Super Booth, maybe they would have, maybe they wouldn't have voted. But I like the fact that just what wins wins. I'm a GMO whore. So when I heard that and first place is GMO, I was just like, oh, of course. That I mean, I remember the first time I smoked GMO, my girlfriend came home and I got some garlic cookies out there as it was, as it was being traded in the early days. And she comes home, and she goes, "Dude, I think there's a fire in the grow room. It just smells like burning plastic in here." And I was like, "Yeah, man, it's fucking good, bro."
Yeah, GMO is an all-time classic. It's one of my favorites for sure. I love that strain. Between the quality and then the yield that you get off of it, it's just amazing.
Yeah, El Cana is down there in Arizona with you. He said, "Did you say fritter fuel by Spaceman Genetics?" That's exactly what he said. And
That's
are you
right.
running it, El Cana? Do you got some of that fritter fuel?
Yeah, I still got the cut. It's amazing. Yeah, Spaceman's actually a big part of the reason that I ended up becoming the grower that I am. He basically took me under his wing, showed me the ropes, and I took it from there.
Mhm. And so in the ropes, let's go into the ropes. It's one of those things in growing circles. It's so easy to learn growing. It's so easy to learn growing wrong. What are those things that like you could watch Dude Grow Show, you could have watched, Mr. Grow It, you could have watched all these things and you could have got a lot of great ideas. But what are the things that really stands out that Spaceman taught you as you look back and you go, man, I'm glad I had that guy showing me stuff. What are some of the things? What are some of those techniques that you look at and you go, man, I probably couldn't have learned that anywhere else.
Well, when I first started, I didn't know if I wanted to grow in soil or cocoa or DWC. There's so many different ways that you can grow this plant and have success. But the most important thing is to find one that works for you and make sure you get it dialed in. So when I first started, I just went down on the internet, started Googling stuff, and everyone said to start Fox Farm soil. So that's what I did. I went and got a bag of Happy Frog. I planted some seeds, and I was just struggling really bad. I ended up killing them all, I think, in the first week or two, just because I think I was overwatering them at that time. You're a new grower, you just tend to overwater stuff. So I'm pretty sure that's what I did to those first 12 seeds that I planted. But then I was lucky enough to meet my buddy from Spaceman, and he was like, "Bro, no, skip the soil. You're going to grow in cocoa." At first, I started out with a complete line of Botanicare. I was having amazing results with that. But eventually I switched over to Athena just because I started using the drip system, and it just runs a lot cleaner. It doesn't clog your drippers. It stays a lot more stable in your reservoir without the pH fluctuation. So yeah, he basically switched me from soil into cocoa and put me on a good nutrient regimen. That basically, taught me how to feed my plants properly and how to dial in your environment. You dial in your environment, you feed your plants properly, you're providing sufficient lighting. It's hard not to succeed.
It is we live in a renaissance of cannabis right now. I think I don't know how long we'll all live with age reduction technology and AI science and medical yada yada. We're probably going to live a little bit longer than your average bear, but man, in 30 years, I don't think we have perspective on what's happening right now. The rollout of legalization, and like I always talk about, like there's Discord groups devoted to like they'll all get the same seeds. There'll be like 150 people that all get the same breeder packs, and then they all pheno hunt these different things. They compare notes, they get back, and it's an amazing time to be growing cannabis. So definitely. How did you decide to go with watering? That's always one of the things that's one of the more diverse things in the world. Some people hand water, some people do the drippers, some people do the blue mots. What's your I believe you're a reservoir guy, right? Do you do drippers?
Yeah, when I first started, I hand watered, but over time, things evolved, and I shrunk my pot size down to a 1 gallon and started using the FloraFlex drip system. Hooked
Oh.
up the 30-gallon reservoir, so it basically lasts all week. And I'm growing in 1 gallon pots. I'm hitting them about just 3 times a day until runoff, about 4 hours apart. And it's been working great the last few runs. You know, I've played around with the frequency of the fertigations, doing them, 8 times a day in smaller shots, 4 times a day in bigger shots. Right now, I'm kind of settled on 3 main fertigations throughout the day until runoff, and it's been working great my last few runs.
That is that might be the most modern. Maybe I'm just sheltered in the growing world, but I gotta say that's got to be one of the most modern kind of things that's been going on recently. Is they call it the pulse feeding, and like if you were to do like a four is right in the sweet spot. So you go 1 gallon in cocoa 4 times a day. That might be the most unusual thing. Like coming from my world, it was all 7-gallon pots, cocoa, 7 gallons. If you'd be running 5, you'd water once a day and everything. And so, is that the dry back? Is that the thing you like about that with the 1 gallons, that it pushes that EC up and down and kind of you could.
Yeah, precisely. With the larger pots, you're only able to water your plants, every couple days, because otherwise it's going to just be all moist and soggy and oversaturate your roots. So with the smaller pots, you're able to dry back multiple times throughout the day and give it multiple feedings throughout the day. And it's just performing wonderfully that way. I definitely don't see myself going back to the bigger pots. You'd be surprised the size of plants I could pull with a 1 gallon pot. I'll have an 8-10 ounce plant come out of a 1 gallon pot. So, pot size doesn't have much to do with the yield. You can get a large yield in a 1 gallon pot if you're steering that crop properly.
That's the thing that is so modern about it. Coming from the good old boy network that I came of, it makes 5 gallons water once a day. It tans up perfectly, yada yada. But this because people do those solo cup challenges where they'll grow and I see you have to water it 15 freaking times a day, but you're getting these monster plants out of it. It doesn't matter how little of medium you have, as long as you're replenishing what it needs, and then you're oxidizing that root system and getting it all nice and dry, introducing the positive stressors. It's one of the things as I age, I'm getting into fitness and kind of health. As I crossed 40, I was like, man, I really don't want to be Jello man my entire life. So let me try to get. And so as I'm going through, I'm stressing out my body. I'm actually I'm hurting. The next day I'm hurting. And then I start thinking about weed and I go, the same way that I'm introducing these positive stressors into my body and I'm making my heart stronger and my liver have to work less hard. It's like all these things, the high stress training I've always been a big fan of in my world back in the day with trellising, and you get those big knuckles, and it's like, man, wherever I get those big knuckles is where I get those big fat top colas. And so dry back is one of the things that, I don't know, in my head, just studying growing, I wouldn't have thought would be such a big thing. But in the last 2 to 3 years, I think that's one of the biggest advancements. Chad Westport really pounded in my head the power of the dry back. And you're the proof's in the pudding. You are, and I'm looking over at your Instagram here, and you guys should go follow on Instagram, Grow Fire Farms. He is putting out that good content over there about your life and everything. But you're no newbie to the winning over here. You got Hash Bass DGC Cup, you got the Earl Cup, you got the Fall Earl Cup, the Spring Earl Cup, Fall Earl Cup. You got silvers, bronzes, golds. You are a champion. You and Chubbs. Are you familiar with our buddy Chubbs out there, the grower?
I'm not. I can't say that I'm familiar with Chubbs. No.
We'll get you. We'll make that connection someday because you're on his heels.
All right. Well, I started just a little bit under 2 years competing, and I've won all those awards in less than 2 years. So it's pretty amazing, to get that type of recognition from my peers and fellow smokers that are out there that just appreciate the product that I'm putting out there. I actually just entered a cup today that's going to be pretty huge. It's called the Arizona Culture Cup. It's a new event. They actually have people traveling in from all over the country. There's a couple people coming from Colorado. There's like 12 people coming from Michigan. There's people coming from Hawaii, all the way from Maine. Like, they're coming from all over the country for this event, and a lot of them are really huge. I don't know if anybody watches First Smoke of the Day, but they just had Growing Pains on there, and they're a huge brand out of Michigan, and they're coming out to the event. So yeah, if you go to their Instagram, they actually list all of the people who are in the event, and it's quite the list of some really big heavy hitters all throughout the country that are coming to this event. It's going to be probably the most upscale. It was definitely the most expensive event I've ever entered. Each submission was $500. So, but it comes with a lot of really upscale prizes, and a private chef is catering the whole event. So it's going to be something pretty special to be able to meet a bunch of these top brands from all over the country.
That is pretty sick, my man. That is, and I can tell you from experience, just seeing how cups are put on in the back end. Holy shit, these things are hard to do. Like, the Dude Grows Cup is a break-even event. It's like all the ticket sales, all the vendor submissions, all of the entry fees. It all just gets sucked away. One thing. Oh, how much is the tent? Oh, we need a bigger tent. Oh, there's lighting. How much is the lighting? Dear God. So yeah, no, good luck in that, man. I look forward to I found it. It's the azculturecup.com. So find them on Instagram, find their website. I really believe that we need to we're in a crossroads. I open up the show by talking about how there's like a little bit of kind of shadow banning nonsense going on again. And we got banned from Stripe with the Jug Dealers podcast, the Stripe payment processing. We're just selling plant nutrients, and like, you're cannabis related and you're banned. It's like, what the hell? So it's really tough to start these events, keep these events. So I encourage everyone, if you like Dude Grows Cup, definitely go check this one out if you're in the Arizona metro area. I'm talking to you Coloradans, New Mexicans, Texans.
Hey, there's already a couple people from Colorado coming to the event. Like I said, there's people from all over the country coming out for it, so it's going to be pretty amazing.
Hell yeah. So we got a couple questions for you as we're just going through that. And I believe I already know the answer, but so the concentrate you won with at DGC, that was a just 1 gallons, both those sides of it?
Well, honestly,
oh, that's right. The GMO was different. The GMO was different.
The GMO actually grew that in a 7-gallon pot in cocoa on the side of my house outside. That was an outdoor plant that I grew. It was a mother plant that I had. I was done with her, so I either had to throw her away, but I decided, I'm going to go ahead and flower this thing outside. And what's crazy about it is, I put her outside around Thanksgiving time here in Phoenix, and I harvested her the last day of February. So she grew outside all winter long through the coldest nights, 35-degree temperature swings, and still performed wonderfully. I was super impressed with the way it came out, and I froze the whole plant and washed her, and that's what I ended up winning the hash bash with.
That's amazing. So yeah, the 1 gallons in the with the super booth, and a mother plant turned outdoor plant winning for the GMO. That's amazing. I really I don't we always keep track of nutrient regimen in the DGC. Like, would you grow the salt? Did you grow organic? Did you grow all living soil? What did you grow? But we don't really track indoor outdoor. We have to make sure that gets put on the ballot, like a submission sort of thing, because that's
I'm pretty sure nobody's entering outdoor flower. But as far as the rosin goes, you can get some quality rosin out of outdoors. So
and why do you think what would be the reason you think that people wouldn't put outdoor flower in?
I mean, in my experience, especially, I can only say for what I've seen and what I've produced. The flower that I grow outside is nowhere near as good as the flower that I grow inside. But the trichomes that I'm able to extract off of the outdoor flower are just as good, and in some cases, maybe even a little better, because I think there's something about the spectrum of that natural sunlight that does something to these terpenes on some of these plants. They give you different flavors that you don't necessarily get when you run them inside.
Yeah, that's very fascinating. And so when you did your outdoor run, what did you did you do like amended soil, just throw pots outside with your regular nutrient regimen? How'd you feed it?
Honestly, I just put 7 gallons of cocoa, and I fed it the same nutrients that I feed my indoor plants, Athena blended. I would usually, on res change, I always got an extra, couple gallons in there that I'll dump into a bucket. So I would go dump my res changes in there, And then on, days that I didn't have a res change, I would mix up a little bucket and dump it on there. But yeah, just straight up Athena outdoors.
That's so fascinating. See, it just goes to show we're talking about how easy it is. It's very hard to grow. I always equate growing weed like being a mechanic. It's like if you just open my engine hood and I'm looking at it, looks like a spaceship. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. But then my buddy who studied it, he goes, "Bro, it's 3 bolts. It could not be any easier." Once you wrap your head around growing, it couldn't be much easier. And so here you go. You win the hash bash with essentially what's a redheaded stepchild. This thing is just like, I could have killed it. Nah, I'll do this. I don't grow like any of my plants. It gets the residual off of my reservoir as an afterthought. And then it's just so stank and everything, and it ends up winning. That speaks to everything about growing cannabis, doesn't it?
No, for real. I definitely enjoyed, like, my lights don't turn on in my garage to where I could look at my indoor grow till 5:50, and I would get home at like 3:30. So I got like 2.5 hours almost before I can go check out my grow. So yeah, I would usually grab a cold one and go onto the side of the house and just stare at that outdoor GMO plant for an hour. It's just fun to watch grow.
Oh man, and that's so crazy growing through the winter. As a Midwest boy, it just breaks my brain. I'm from Iowa originally, and I go, Thanksgiving to February. Wait, what? About Arizona.
Yeah, it's definitely different over here. It doesn't really get down any lower than, the high 30s, like 38 or so. And then it'll still get up to 78 degrees throughout the winter. So, I mean, it's not quite optimal ranges, but you're able to get some nice growth. I've got some really nice grows on the side of my house the last few years. You don't get quite the same swell you might get from, the same one running inside. But if you're just going to make live hash rosin out of it, it works great.
All right. And so going back to the fritter fuel, right? So one of the things I'm very fascinated about is like how we take it for granted. A lot of the people out there they think the strain fairy shows up and just like, here's the emergency that I love. That's so amazing. The guava gator cut that we got from Juve in the beanstalk, like all these amazing strains that just come about. How do you pick your winners? What are the sort of things you're looking for? Is it several runs? How many seeds are you popping to do these pheno hunts? I guess we'll use the fritter as the example. How many seeds, how many different phenos are you finding in there? And what are the reasons that you select them? Is it for effect? Is it for look? Is it for flavor?
Well, honestly, I'm not able to really go on any large-scale pheno hunts like I would like to. We got limited plant count, so kind of got to keep it legit. So typically, I'll just pop a 6-pack of seeds, take cuts off of all 6 of them before I flip the flower, keep those in a separate tank, and then just I'll take notes all the way throughout flower about, internodal spacing, how much is it stretching, those type of things. But I mean, the biggest thing is whenever I harvest, I'm going to want to smoke every single one of those and find the one that really hits, which is the one I enjoy the most. And then I'll also match that up against, all my other notes that I took throughout the grow, like the internodal spacing and the bud swell and the yield and those type of things. But it all comes down to me for the terps, the taste, the flavor, the effect. But definitely, structure and growth patterns and yield definitely are put into the equation. But yeah, basically it's all about them terps, man.
God bless you. I moved to Colorado. I'm a cannabis refugee. I left Iowa. All my friends were getting busted. I was in the legacy market, flipping packs and doing the things that needed to be done. I never, I'd always take care of my, I grew up with this family that was my next door neighbors. Like me and my best friend met each other when we were 3 years old. And so by the time we're 13 years old, I was the de facto little brother. So I got led into all the back rooms that I probably was too young to be in, of all the guys doing all the work. And so I just realized, like, I got to get the hell out of there. And when I got to Colorado, I expected to find hundreds of people just like me, just terp snobs that are just all about the flavor. They don't care about nothing. We always had a saying, you got to waste it to taste it,
Yeah, for real, especially with the low temp dabs. If you ain't wasting it, you ain't tasting it.
That goddamn right. So I was shocked when I got to Colorado, Denver specifically, and I expected. I immediately got into the cannabis community here via content creation with John Doe Radio, our buddy Tim Martin out there. Shout out Tim and Bike, and And then I got into the actual industry, got into dispensary work, started doing bud tending. I never worked in the grow proper, but anytime I could go in the grow, I'd always go hang out with the grow guys. And I was amazed to find that everyone was really like a split on, like, they didn't really care so much about the flavor. And I always felt like I was are you crazy? Like, I smoked so much weed that it barely gets me, like, it gets me high, obviously, but it doesn't like get me blasted. And so I always equate it's almost like aromatherapy. When you give me the strain I really, really love, it's yes, more of that, please. So I love that you're doing the God's work out there, spreading the terps.
Yeah, flavor over effect. I mean, you definitely want something that's potent, that's going to knock you on your ass. But if you find something that tastes amazing, you're going to like the effect. I've never hit something and be like, holy shit, this tastes amazing. And they'd be like, yeah, but it doesn't get me hot. I don't know. I'm flavor first.
Yeah, I would smoke that. If there was like some O'Doul's weed that like tasted like lemon G or some GMO, but barely got you high, that'd be my morning weed, bro. Sometimes I don't need to be so I gotta drive my kid to school. I can't be getting blasted at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that could be good daytime weed for sure.
That would be awesome. Hell yeah, dude. So definitely it's we don't have a Dude Grows Hall of Fame, but I think you got to be in there. This is one of those things that I think a lot of people are going to be curious about. Dude Grows Cup. Normally I do the footage of it and the video would already be up, but I think we outsourced it to Untrained Astronaut and some other people. So I don't physically have the footage there, but I'm going to be curious to go back and just see the reactions of everyone, because you did something special, man. I definitely, I've been loving getting the lowdown on this. And if I've learned anything about this, it's that set it up in the beginning, like mind your P's and Q's. As they say in the Army, they always say P7. I wasn't in the Army. I just grew up with a bunch of Army dudes. And they always say P7, proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. And they'd say that. I think that is the takeaway I'm taking from you here is you set up all your environment, you set up all your tents, you got your nutrient regimen, you figured out what works for you. And then rather than, like I said, being the Kool-Aid man and trying to run through walls, you're just letting it come to you. And man, your resume speaks for itself.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the other key factor is once you grow that quality cannabis, you got to dry that properly. So I have a dedicated room in my house that maintains 60-60. I can leave plants hanging there indefinitely because, they're hanging in the ideal environment. They don't over dry at 60-60. So typically after 2 weeks, they're ready to trim. But, I'll usually take a week or two to trim all that. So they'll hang in there for 3 or 4 weeks at times and remain fresh. By the time I trim them and put them into the Grove bags, they could have been hanging in that room for a month in perfectly cured flower at that point. And it's also amazing because I got the cool bot hooked up in that room. So that room doubles as my cure room, but it's also my cold room for my hash lab. So I got my washing machine in there, my freeze dryer and all that. So, and that's pretty achievable with just a window AC unit and then the cool bot. You can turn your
the cool bot is the mechanism that forces it to go a little bit cooler than it wants to naturally, right?
It's actually a very simple installation. I mean, it's not that cheap. It's like $350 for the cool bot, but you hook that up to a window unit. Almost any window unit will work. Now, if you're trying to make a cold room, you definitely want to use an oversized unit, but it's a very simple thing to install. You just take the front of your AC unit off, and then there's a couple wires that you hook up. It takes no more than 10 minutes. And then as long as your room's well insulated, I'm able to get that room down to 38 degrees when it's 100 and something degrees outside. It's pretty amazing.
My God.
Yeah. You could use your whole bedroom as a refrigerator if you wanted to. Just put all your milk and everything in there.
I love this. This is when I did work in dispensaries, I found the other home grower in the crew because I was telling this customer that came in, they're talking about how it's growing like this and it's all about this, and like he was telling me, he's like, it's all about the nutrients, it's all about this and it's all about that. And I was like, well, actually it's really all about the dry and cure. You can grow some amazing bud and then you can shit the bed at the end. And the employee next to me was like, oh, that guy's a grower. He came up to me, he's like, hey man, you grow weed? We didn't tell, back in the day we didn't work. So yeah. He's like, yeah, me too, let's hang out. And so it became the bestest friends. And I used to go to the Dude Grows Cup with him back in 2017 before I even worked with Dude Grows. I used to go to the Dude Grows Cup. And I remember he was telling me about this back in those days. And I didn't know that it would get, and does it is it like kind of reduce the life of the AC? Is it seems like it's just got to do something negative? Is it cost neutral? What's going on with it?
I mean, it's not really making a big difference as far as my. I don't run the room all the time. First of all, that room's only running after I harvest and I have plants hanging, or if I'm going to wash hash. So if I'm going to wash hash, I'll usually start it at night. It'll take all night. It'll get super cold, and then in the morning I'll go in there and wash my hash. But other than that, it only gets turned on, every 10, 12 weeks whenever I got a harvest ready to dry. So it's not running all the time. So it's not hitting my electric that hard. It's definitely an amazing tool, though, because, if you can't maintain your environment for your cure, and if you're going to try to wash hash in a 70 or 80-degree room, it's not going to work out so good for you.
Hells yeah. And as we're getting to the end here, we're start landing this plane, I would be remiss if I didn't ask about the hash washing. How much do you select for sandy trichomes? Do you really worry about blasters versus washers? What's your take on selection of the strains for hash?
I definitely, want something that's got the terps I'm looking for, but it definitely needs to hit a certain yield or it's not going to be worth my time either. I know a lot of people are into the hand paddling, but all my stuff is machine washed. It comes right out the machine, right onto the freeze dry tray, and then it goes right into the freeze dryer. It usually sits in the freeze dryer just about a whole goddamn day, and then the next day I'll take it out and press it right out of the freeze dryer right there. So, yeah, you definitely want something that's got the terps you're looking for, that's giving you also a nice yield, that's making it worth your time and your efforts. Yeah, I don't want to wash anything and get a minimal return. That's for sure.
Yeah, I had a strain that won the DGC Cup a couple of years ago. That's one of my favorite strains ever. It's actually what I'm smoking on tonight. Is some of this emergency, and
I actually have that in the tent right now. I got that cut from JR. I got it flowered out right now.
Oh yeah. Man, I want to smoke your emergency, buddy. That's one of my favorite strains ever. It had sugar fan leaves. Like literally all the way up the petiole was just like trikes up there, and the bottom fingers of the fan leaves were like sugar leaf. I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I just got it. This is actually my first run flowering it out. It's about 7 weeks in. One thing I'm noticing with that cut is I think that might be one of the cultivars that does not like the extreme light intensity, because it's just not giving me the swell that I was anticipating. And I'm blasting that, with some really high par from both sides, top and bottom. And I'm just not getting the swell as the other ones in the tent. So I might have to run that one back without the under canopy and give it a little less lighting and see how she performs.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely. I bring it up because it was it was a blaster, not a washer. It was very greasy. So as soon as you put it into the tub to wash it, it just get that oil shimmery shine on the top. I think I got like 2.5% yield return on it, and it's made some of the firest rosin I've ever smoked in my life. But yeah, definitely not a strong washer, that one.
Hey, at times if you find something that the terps are that unique, and hey, 2.5%, I might be able to work with that if the terps are that good.
It hurt my soul
Right.
to like take this giant bag of weed and then get back this little baby food jar. I'm like, that's everything. Oh, all right. Oh my God. Holy shit.
Well, now you know for next time, wash something else.
Yes, watch something else. And so you make it seem very approachable, man. Like you're not doing anything too fancy with growing. You're not doing anything too fancy with washing. You're just setting up your the P7 correctly. Make sure all of your environmental controls, all your nutrient regimens, and your feeding schedule is all on point. You're doing the dry backs with the 1 gallons. You're using the cool bot to make sure everything's nice and cool. You're hang drying in cool temperatures, letting them cook out for like at least 2 weeks, maybe even 3, depending on the trimming. You're washing it in a washing machine. You're not overly concerned with that. And then the last thing we haven't really talked about is your press. How you press it? What's your press regimen look like?
I mean, I don't have nothing fancy with the press. I just got the Nug Smasher OG. I bought that a couple years ago. I would definitely like to upgrade to one of them nice low temps, but the Nug Smasher OG has been doing the trick for me. Yeah, I've been pressing right around 160 degrees. I go nice and slow. I give it a nice little warm-up period for a minute or two, let it kind of work down the material and get it hot. and then I'll just very slowly start applying pressure. You can definitely get a lot done because the Nug Smasher OG doesn't even have the pressure gauge, so it's all done with feel. So as I'm pressing the rosin, it all comes. You get the hang of it after a while. You can kind of gauge the pressure that you're putting in and how much flow is coming out the plates. I'm able to get pretty good results without the pressure gauge and just using a simple Nug Smasher OG.
Goddamn, Grow Fire Farms! I am impressed by everything I'm hearing, man. You are definitely an artist. You're not doing anything fancy. You're not doing anything out of line. You are literally meat and potatoes grower, taking down championships left and right. Dude Grows Hall of Fame, bro. Amazing. I can't give you praise enough, my friend. I smoked your GMO. I am a concentrate snob, and that thing deserved to win. It was very, very yummy.
Well, heck yeah, Grambo. I appreciate all those kind words you just said. It was definitely an honor to be on the show and a pleasure to come out to Colorado and meet all you boys. It's something I'll cherish for the rest of my life, those memories I made.
Hell yeah, dude. No, it's for real. It's one of those things that the Dude Grows Cup invites the best of the home growers. The Hash Bash invited the best of not just the home growers, but the full-on commercial scales, guys who are famous. You know, you beat out Nick T. Nick T took third, you took first, baby. Like, I mean,
yeah, he's a legend. He was a legend.
He coined solventless. He's the reason we call it. He was the first guy to really call it solventless. He was in there with Kind Bill as Kind Bill was doing the live resin. He was figuring out the live rosin. So yeah, nothing but respect to you, my friend. And as anyone wants to get more familiar with your work, your just anything you got going on, where should we direct people? Obviously over on Instagram. Is there anything else that would benefit you if people could find you?
I mean, Instagram is definitely my main platform. I did recently start an X account, but I'm not very active over there. I kind of just started it because, you know, the Instagram police were cracking down and everybody said, let's move over to X. So I started the account, but I haven't been very active over there. I definitely do have my DGC account over there, too. People can message me over there. Grow Fire Farms. I think I got a hyphen in between Grow Fire and Farms. But yeah, main platform would probably be Instagram. Shoot me a DM if you got any questions or you just want to say what's up. I'll usually respond to just about everybody, so long as you know you're not being crazy or anything.
Hell yeah, definitely go over. You can find Grow Fire Farms, and it's like let's spell it out just for people. It's GROWFIREFARMS, because you never know. People like we just had Lil Farmer on the today on the Sunday Banner show, and he spells it PH Farmer, and people kept like finding a different farmer. So it's spelled exactly how you guys would think it is. Go over, find us on Real DGC. You can talk to me, you can talk to him. We're 5 away from 6,000. So if you guys aren't a member over there, go create a free account. I'll do a shameless plug for the Real DGC. We're 5 away from 6,000. Let's cross that over. By the time I go to the Dude Grows meeting tomorrow, it'll be really sweet to see that over on 6K. So if you're not over there, go over there. I'm Grambo, just GRAMBO, and Grambo was his name-o. And yeah, find me, find Grow Fire Farms, and that's it, bro. We did it. We sailed past an hour. I learned a lot about not overthinking things, working within your limits, and not chasing other people's limits. You're a hell of a man. I met you before you were a double champion at the Dude Grows Cup, and I liked you then. And I like you even more now, my friend.
Heck yeah, likewise, Grambo. I look forward to coming back up there next year and getting to chop it up with you again.
My man. All right. Well, thank you so much, my friend. I will see you in person someday soon, I hope.
Oh, definitely. You can count on that, bud.
Hell yeah. All right. Later, brother.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, guys, we did it. That is the late night smoke. This is it's one of those things that every Sunday I never know what I'm going to get. I don't prepare, I put out 8 pieces of cannabis content this week. This is cannabis content number 9 of the week between all the Dude Grows, the Banner show, the Dude Grows show, the Dude Grows Grow Talk show. Oh my God, I've been going ham with all of the content. So I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, smoke that like button. You see that share button? Roll this video up and pass it to a friend. We're talking about all this shadow banning, all this stuff. It really, really is important. Every YouTube content creator wants you to subscribe. A lot of that is vanity metrics. They just want to be bigger and bigger, bigger. In the cannabis community, it actually means whether you get, I can't tell you how many times, like my post show, once again, and if you like what I'm doing, you can join the Gram board. If you're watching this, you're GramFam, but if you want to step it up, become Gram board, right next to the subscribe button on the channel, it's a join button. We do a post show every Sunday after this. It's we do a lot of different shenanigans on there. I talk a little bit about my personal life shenanigans going on constantly everywhere, and I talk too much. We'll just say that. So thank you guys. I endlessly appreciate you being here. It is once again every Sunday. I'm stressed out, and I feel like I shouldn't. God, I want to cancel the show, and I did cancel last week, and I apologize on that. But I endlessly appreciate you. Cannabis Vibe, you are the GOAT, my friend. Shout out to Cannabis Vibe. He on the way to the DGC Cup, he was hit by a car, a hit and run. This son of a bitch is still out there in the world, and Cannabis Vibe, he's holding it together. So if you like my theme song, if you like the Jug Dealers theme song, that's Cannabis Vibe. Go give Cannabis Vibe Studios a follow over on Instagram. I hope you're healing up, buddy. I missed not getting to hang out with you at the Cup, but you know, you're healing. You'll be back stronger, better. You're gonna be the $10 million man by next year. So love it. Thank you guys once again. Click the join button, become Gram board. We didn't have LJ Jones this week throwing out the all the gift subs, so I hope you guys find it in your heart. Join the Gram board. Come support me, guys. The seeds went out. By the way, the seed competition, they all went out. The reason that just triggered in my mind is, holy crap, it was expensive. It costs so much to ship you guys those seeds. Oh my God. Thank you, Mo Grows. Thank you, Canorado Chris, for helping out with that. I couldn't believe it's a fair chunk of change to ship out a teeny little tiny seed pack. It's just this little teeny tiny thing. I get this giant bill back. It's like, oh my God. But you know how it worked? Because of members like you donating and subscribing or hitting that join button and coming on as the Gram board. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm going to be back with Dude Grows Grow Talk tomorrow morning, Tuesday with the Jug Dealers, Wednesday with Dude Grows. You guys know it. Sing along if you know the words. Mo and Chris are amazing, and I endlessly we might be having this whole Cortez wedding, cannabis wedding thing is kind of taking on a life of its own. And I might start cannabis weddings. So if you guys have ever wanted to have a cannabis wedding in Colorado where it's open smoking, cannabis weddings at the International Church of Cannabis, this is a thing that I might start doing. I've gotten talked to by a lot of smart cannabis business people who said, bro, that's a huge market, and if you have fun doing it, you should really think about offering it as a service. And I might. So you never know. I'm really bad at following through on things that I say I'm going to do, but this one I got a couple people helping me with it. So if you ever wanted to get weddings, if you ever get a can of wedding, marroweddings.com, does that exist? Don't buy it yet. I have a Pope robe. I have. Follow me on Instagram. Yes, Witches and Coos. I am Reverend Grambo. I'm officially ordained. I have the outfit. We did it at the International Church of Cannabis. It was a sick endeavor. So lots of shenanigans going on. I really appreciate you guys following me on there. So definitely follow me on Instagram as well. That is a huge thing. And follow Grow Fire Farms over there on Instagram. It goes a really long way for all of us. And so thank you guys. My name is Josh Grambo. Nothing but good vibes up in here. Grambo grows. Bye, y'all.
We're dropping knowledge on Grambo Grows, talking about plants and how they go. Let's go. From seeds to the cure, we always smoke pure. Nothing but good vibes up in here.